Here's the way I see it from my corner. I call this one, Where Has the Eagle Flown? Big business and government versus the American people. If you haven't noticed, it makes little difference whether the President of the United States is Snow White and conservative or shoe polish brown and liberal. Between 20 and 30 million Americans still can't find jobs. That is 10% of the American population. This 10% of American citizens who would like to work can't find work. And the 90% who have jobs can't be secure that their corporate employers won't sack them any time they feel like it. Small businesses continue to teeter dangerously in the middle of all this uncertainty. Under the sacred banner of capitalism, economic discrimination by the rich commanders of all our country's sources of capital is politically nonpartisan and racially colorblind. They'll gladly boot us onto the streets, no matter what shade our skin or stripe our politics, if doing so will increase their profits. They will ecstatically price our small jobs into the corner, or give our job to the workers of some other country treating its citizens like cattle, all in the name of saving democracy and the American way of life, as long as it will continue to give them even more profits. Are they concerned with helping us reintegrate ourselves into the economy after they boot us out? Do they try to help the government establish programs to help us reintegrate ourselves back into the economy? Do they try to avoid outsourcing our jobs to other countries? Do they try to help create American job training and comprehensive job placement programs within and among their giant corporations? You know the answer to that as well as I do. No jobs without training, no training provided by corporations, no corporate support for government training, no corporate capital for new comprehensive job training programs by anyone. Nothing. Nada. They are glad to sell our jobs cheaply all over the planet. Their rationale: it makes America competitive in the world. The alliance of big business and government thrives by convincing U.S. citizens that we are divided against one another. Three mammoth corporations own 90% of all the media. That's radio, TV, newspapers, magazines. And they persuade us to define ourselves as conservatives or liberals. They sell us repeatedly on the idea that corporations are persons. They've even passed a law by the Supreme Court that says so. Are we no longer persons, let alone citizens? Instead, it appears, they inform us we are consumers. Complicit in this concept, we argue and fight among ourselves about minor political issues while they earn billions of dollars, taxing us to fight their despicably profitable wars and awarding themselves monumental federal bailouts. Is this capitalism? No. Is it socialism for corporations? Yes, I believe it is. For example, one month, government loans billions of dollars to General Motors to bail it out of trouble because it didn't build smaller, efficient cars as the Japanese do. The next month, General Motors produces a new Caddy with a 500 horsepower engine. The frantic rich rush out to buy it. All this while our 20 or 30 million unemployed move in with their parents, in-laws, sons and daughters, just to keep off the streets, or turn temporarily to welfare, church, food banks, or crime to put food on the table. By dominating markets and manipulating prices, the rich commanders of giant corporate jobs in America methodically spent the entire 20th century eliminating small business competition. They replaced small businesses and their jobs with automation, computerization, and robots in order, specifically, to increase their own profits. There's nothing wrong with using computers and automation and robots to make things more efficiently, but without care for the country and its people, it produces a massive consequence. The end result has been the elimination of millions of small businesses and millions of jobs. Have the giant financial corporations made any provisions to share the remaining available work with all willing workers in America? Again, you know the answer to that. Since 2008, nearly 5 years, our 20 to 30 million fellow American citizens remain still today without jobs, while giant corporate profits are again mammoth. It is noteworthy that when the occupiers, who were essentially poor undereducated sons and daughters of poor undereducated parents, that when they tried to organize and enlighten us about the extent of American corporate malfeasance, city mayors with state and federal blessings sent in the police at 3:30 a.m. In cities all across the country, armed cops routed these kids out of their primarily peaceful demonstrations and cast them back into lean streets. In the middle of dark night, they destroyed constitutionally permitted civil protest sites and decimated the kids' courageous attempts to expose the depth of ethical corruption in our gigantic financial corporations. Wrapped in the American flag, the whole putrid corporate political business continued just as usual. The precariously dangling middle class, lucky to still hold their jobs, slumped stupefied before their television sets and mutely watched it like sheep. Surveys report that 75% of all Americans say they trust neither government nor giant corporations. Do we protest the Supreme Court's decision that corporations are persons and may freely dominate the financing of our political campaigns? Do we protest that by corporate domination, we are no longer persons, but just consumers? Do we douse the TV, bolt upright, and actively make known our discontent? Do we do anything? No. Fumblingly obedient as long as we remain part of the 90% tenuously earning a living, we sit silently and toe the line while once self-employed small business owners, fired corporate employees, and jobless youth confront a traitorous giant corporate economic ripoff. As I began, I said the name of this commentary is Where Has the Eagle Flown? When chickens disappear, we say they have flown the coop. I ask again, where has the eagle flown? And I suggest to you that the American eagle, to save his own life, has flown the giant corporate coup. Until next time, from my corner, this is your ally in dissenting mischief, Howell Hurst.